Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of November 19, 2024. I'm your host, Shariefa Muhammad, MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an Infantry Officer. Regional combat updates. North Group of Forces achieved victories in the Kharkiv region against the 57th Motorized Infantry Brigade, the 13th Brigade of the National Guard, and the 5th Border Detachment. Key successes include repelling 2 counterattacks and causing significant Ukrainian losses, including 135 servicemen and various military hardware.
Welcome to Frontline Updates podcast, where we bring you insights into global military developments. Joining us again is Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an experienced infantry officer, to provide a briefing on the special military operation as of November 19, 2024. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to sharing today's updates.
Let's begin with a high-level view. What is the current focus of the special military operation?
The operation continues to focus on neutralizing Ukrainian military capabilities while advancing our positions across key regions. We're targeting Ukrainian formations on the ground while using air and artillery strikes to weaken their infrastructure and logistics.
Let's take a regional approach. Starting with the Kharkiv region, what are the main developments there?
In the Kharkiv region, our North Group of Forces engaged and defeated the 57th Motorized Infantry Brigade, the 13th Brigade of the National Guard, and the 5th Border Detachment. 2 Ukrainian counterattacks were repelled. Ukrainian losses include 135 servicemen, a tank, 2 infantry fighting vehicles, and a 122mm howitzer.
Moving on to the West Group of Forces, what progress has been made?
The West Group improved its tactical positions, targeting the 14th, 28th, and 115th Mechanized Brigades in settlements like Kupiansk and Zagrazovo. We repelled 3 counterattacks, with Ukrainian losses reaching 510 servicemen, vehicles, and artillery, including a 122mm self-propelled artillery unit and a U.S.-made 105mm howitzer.
What about the Southern Group of Forces? What are the key updates?
In the southern region, our forces strengthened frontline positions and defeated several brigades, including the 79th Airborne Assault Brigade and the 46th Airmobile Brigade, in areas like Daknoy and Kurakovo. Ukrainian losses totaled 550 servicemen, a tank, multiple armored vehicles, and advanced artillery, including a Polish-made 155mm self-propelled artillery unit. Meanwhile, the southern screen of the Ukrainian armed forces near Kurakovo is rapidly deteriorating and an entire flank is falling away. Russian troops of 2 groups, just like on the Elba, are closing this section from the north and south. There are 5.5 kilometers left until the cauldron closes. As soon as this is finished, all attention will be paid to those Ukrainian soldiers who still remain inside the city.
The Center Group of Forces seems to have made advances as well. What can you tell us?
Yes, indeed, the Center Group liberated Novoselidovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. We also engaged the 53rd and 117th Mechanized Brigades, among others, repelling 6 counterattacks. Ukrainian losses included over 310 servicemen, armored vehicles, and various artillery systems.
And the East Group of Forces?
The East Group secured more advantageous positions while targeting brigades like the 58th Motorized Infantry Brigade and the 120th Territorial Defense Brigade. Ukrainian losses totaled 140 servicemen, a Leopard tank, and 2 155mm howitzers. A field ammunition depot was also destroyed.
Lastly, what about the DNEPR Group of Forces in the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions?
In the Zaporizhia region, the Dnipro Group inflicted losses on the 31st and 118th Mechanized Brigades, among others. Ukrainian losses included 65 servicemen, 11 vehicles, and an electronic warfare station. A field ammunition depot was also destroyed.
How have air and missile operations contributed to the operation?
Our operational tactical aviation, missile forces, and artillery continue to focus on critical Ukrainian infrastructure. We've targeted military airfields, energy facilities, and concentrations of enemy manpower and equipment across 146 districts. These strikes are critical to diminishing the Ukrainian military's operational capacity. Our air defense systems have been highly effective. Over the past 24 hours, they neutralized 5 ballistic missiles, 4 French-made guided bombs, a HIMARS rocket, and 85 unmanned aerial vehicles.
What to expect in Kurakovo?
The idea of the General Staff of the Russian Federation looks like this. As soon as Russian troops cut off the southern flank from the Ukrainian armed forces garrison and finish rolling it up, the last phase of the operation will begin. The Ukrainian armed forces have 2 options for acting in this area. The first is to bury everyone they can, as in Krinky or Ugledar, but to achieve the PR effect of another fortress. The second is to jump back towards Constantinople before it is too late. Both options are bad. The first simply because all troops left for slaughter will be destroyed. The second, if they retreat to Constantinople, Kurakovo will be effectively surrounded because they have already pressed it from the east, and now they will press it from the south. In other words, the Ukrainian army is not left with good options to choose from. Only bad and very bad.
Let's shift to the Kursk region. What are the latest developments there?
In the Kursk region, our forces defeated multiple Ukrainian brigades, including the 82nd Airborne Assault Brigade and the 36th Marine Brigade, in areas like Dorino and Novoivanovka. Ukrainian losses included 320 servicemen, a Leopard 2 tank, a Bradley infantry fighting vehicle, and 3 self-propelled artillery units. 6 Ukrainian servicemen surrendered.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you. At least 34 people were killed in an Israeli strike in northern Gaza. Nearly 100 aid trucks were looted, raising alarms about a potential collapse of law and order in the region. The UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees reported that 109 of their aid trucks carrying food were violently looted in Gaza. The ongoing conflict has resulted in catastrophic levels of hunger, leaving many people facing severe food insecurity.